Hello, everyone, and welcome to our conversations on the future of work and leadership. I'm Elizabeth Varghese, and over the past few weeks, I've been working with fellow New Yorkers to gain their perspectives on how work and life have changed as the pandemic has unfolded. Our conversations have also uncovered the true meaning of leadership and resiliency, and what leadership looks like in times of crises. While many of us have been working and navigating within the city, some New Yorkers have also been working across international boundaries, collaborating with agencies and other foundations to help those impacted by the pandemic. One such New York hero is David Reid. David is the Director of Foundation and Corporate Philanthropy at the Asia Foundation.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, Elizabeth.
Tell us a little bit about your background and about yourself.
So I'm what one would call a true New Yorker, or more or less a true New Yorker. My family is from New York, D.C. My father represented New York, Westchester County, as Congress for 12 years, and I pretty much have spent my entire adult life in the New York metropolitan area.
Great.
That's a little bit about me.
Wonderful. And David, tell us a little bit about the work you're doing with the Asia Foundation and what's their favorite part of the job.
We're an international development organization focused on lifting people up across Asia. I have to say that the part that I really love about my job are the people that I work with.
And how has work changed as the pandemic has unfolded?
I have to engage folks and be very, person to person. Usually it's inside of meeting people out and about. Now it's meeting people out and about through virtual connections.
Right.
And so that's a very different change. Although the organization, as a development organization, we've been engaged in the world on different crises at different times, whether it's earthquakes or wars or all sorts of different areas of focus. But what makes this different is we have a big challenge that's impacting everybody simultaneously.
Right.
And so that's causing a shift on how we have to work with each other and be engaged and be connected. For my colleagues and I, we've become that much more together and unified,
Right.
because we have to come up with solutions. We have to think about this in a global way. Now, the Asia Foundation, again, is a global institution with 18 offices across Asia. So what's happened is I'm coming together with them in, innovative brainstorming, thinking up solutions. This is where, it really has gotten very exciting and fun to be around, because we're looking for solutions that impacts humanity, and everybody needs to know about the solutions and wants to come together and work through these. And people are thinking about, well, how do we get involved?
Right.
How do we support this? Because everybody's in it together. So they want to see a positive outcome. And then what are the solutions and different types of things? One of the areas of the foundation that's happened is, right now, as everybody knows, most of the world's kids are out of school.
Right.
Indefinitely. And so the Asia Foundation has created a Let's Read at Home initiative that brings children, different types of learnings, children's books together for families to connect with online and learn from home. The other area that we've been working on is that we've seen a big rise in in gender domestic violence.
Right.
And that's because of the sheltering at home. And because of that, the Asia Foundation created the Women Empowerment Program has created a rapid response fund to support interventions to help women in this time, from hotlines in Indonesia to awareness campaigns in different countries across Asia.
Wow.
So, it's really the time to, what are the solutions? How are we going to help people?
Right.
And how do we do it in a way that is right now, because that's when it needs to happen.
What are the different skills and capabilities that are required in this new normal?
Yes, we're going to all need to learn the technology,
Right.
but we're also going to need to learn how to listen, how to think outside the box,
Right.
be empathic,
Right.
be leaders, kind of reaching out, connectors. But out of the box thinking is the other one. I'd
That's
say
very.
that's another skill set that I would recommend.
So what are you telling your teams and your stakeholders? What's important? What's key to hold on to as a community, as a global community in times like these?
So I think this is the time to, on one hand, personally, I think it's very important to reach out to people.
Right.
It's very important to connect with, take care of yourself, take care of your well-being.
Right.
Reach out to people that you haven't connected with in a long time,
Right.
and just checking in and what's happening, and is there any way I can support you, or or do you have any needs, or just to talk. I find that that's something that's really critical, and I think our own personal wellness
Right.
is very critical during this time.
Got it. Got it. Great. That is really a good reminder for all of us, especially as we, hunkering down to stay connected, care for
Yep.
yourself.
And one of the things that I also wanted to mention, and it's jumping out at me as we're thinking about the digital, where we are in the digital divide that there is out there.
Right.
Something that the Asia Foundation has started to do pre-pandemic, but now it's become, now it's really, we're now in this virtual space. We created a program called Go Digital ASEAN, funded by Google. And this project is to work with the other, it's the workforce that's on the other side of the digital divide.
Right. Most of
All
the
the
world.
folks that are not connected to digital technology.
Right.
But they're businesses that they're small micro businesses, or people who want to start to get in business, and they want to understand how to be competitive. Well, now they really need to understand the virtual world. And so the training and development had not been fully digitized. It was in-person workshop and programs. And now it's being digitized. Everything is going virtual. So
Right.
then we have to train the trainers, and that's going to happen in May and June. And then we have to train the entrepreneurs and the small business owners, all on the skills that they need to have to be competitive for tomorrow.
Right. That is very important work indeed, just bridging the digital divide, given that, most of the world's population is not privileged the way we are. Also, anything interesting or unexpected you encountered as you've been navigating through this pandemic?
Connecting and bonding with dozens of people all together in a giant brainstorm.
Huh.
That's probably, before it was one or two people.
Right.
Now it's 50 people all thinking together,
right,
on how to address all these different challenges, and to be innovative and to think that through instead of just a few people brainstorming.
In closing, any comments from a New Yorker who's been, living and working through this crisis?
We're New Yorkers are survivors. We're tough. We've been through a lot of challenges over the years, but in the end, it's about, one, take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Two, take care of your family.
Yeah. Wonderful. David, thank you so much. As always, you're super insightful, and thank you for all the great work you and your team are doing.